Malwini Nonke, Ninjani. Now you might have guessed that's all over the ones. How are you? So this is where you come in. So this is your part. So this is Sipiniri and Kosi Kapoke Kunjani Wena. Should we do that? Sipiniri and Kosi Kapule Kunjani Wena. We're actually quite good in Scotland with it. Sounds, but it's in all the wrong places in Scotland. So you said to me, we are well, thank you, hope you are. Thank you very much. And how are you? So at this point I would say, people really now in Corsi, so I'm also well. But interestingly, in Cape Town, and particularly in townships, they would also sometimes say, Dia Pira, which actually means, I'm alive. Now that is a traditional greeting, but it takes quite a new meaning very often in some of these townships. So when someone says, like, I'm alive, it's out of gratitude that they're alive. I'm going to try this. Polo, and this is Bunda, Ukuteta is in Casa, the Teta can in Jeff, and the Zama, Ukukulisa is in Casa Sam, Kumnandi, Ukupunda, Cordua, Kunzima. Lorna can't do the clicks. There's clicks in the course language. She can't do the clicks, but she can criticise when someone else does it. She's very good at that. Yeah. So I've just said, sorry, I'm learning to speak. Okay. Sorry, I'm learning to speak in Xhosa, but I talk a little rudely. I'm trying to get better. It's nice to learn, but it's difficult. So that's what I did ask them. So that's kind of the ice. Lorna. You should have done already.
Yeah, okay. So, first of all, I've got just a few words of thanks really to you all. Basically, just thank you all so much for your support and your prayers, your ongoing support. We do feel so well supported in terms of prayer and in terms of people messaging us, Skyping us, just keeping in touch with us. You have no idea how important that is to us. And also, thank you for looking after our children and our grandchildren, because again, we just are so grateful for you all, for the way you love them and look after them and babysit for our grandchildren and be mums and dads to our children. And specifically for the special prayer meetings that you've had recently, maybe I should move over, sorry. Because again, things have been tough, which we'll tell you about in a minute. Not specifically for us, really, but also just in terms of the support that then gives to other people, because we were then able to tell the people that we work with, our church are praying for you. They've had the special prayer meetings that they're meeting, and they're really praying for this situation that you are experiencing. So again, please cannot underestimate how important that is to us, and how loved we feel really, and how we're able to share that with others. And also to our core group as well, through Fiona, Julia, Graham, Newman and John Tage, who regularly keep in touch with us, Skype us, just ask for anything. It's just so valuable to us, so thank you very much for caring for us in that way. And if any of you are not on our email, you don't get an email if you're new and you haven't got it and you want it, just let us know, give us your email address and we'll add you to the list so that you can get our blog, which we're very, very bad at doing. We need to do another one. It's so hard. Yeah, we're getting harder. Okay.
Yeah. So what's been happening, because for those of you who have read our blog, there's kind of a lot, there's so much we can say in a blog and an email. There's a lot that happens between the lines, if you like.
But things have been really tough, particularly in Sweet Home Farm over this last while, and there's been a lot of violence. I think if I added up the number of people who have been murdered since we went back in January, it would be about 30 now. And some of these are people who've been targeted by the gangs who are trying to exert control on Sweet Home Farm as the roads that are being brought in, that are bringing light to the community, they're bringing access, they're bringing emergency vehicle access, they're bringing police access. The gangs have been responding to this and actually trying to shut it down. So policemen have been shot, contractors building the roads have been shot. Just 2 weeks ago, 6 policemen were shot in one event, most of them 3 times. So it's pretty bad, but what you need to understand, because people have shown a lot of concern for us, we are not going into Sweet Home Farm at the moment. Sia, the leader, spoke to us several weeks ago and said he no longer wanted us going in for our safety, and Sia is the word of God as far as we're concerned in terms of our access into the community. You can't just stroll in, you need to be invited. And that's kind of affected our work, which means that when Ubu had been building houses in another community to the north of Cape Town, it's been very difficult to get access to our base in Sweet Home Farm for materials, for manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. So very recently we have moved out of Sweet Home Farm entirely, which was a sad and desolate moment. So we have actually moved our base out of Sweet Home Farm. Sia and Bonke, the leader and his wife, are also out of Sweet Home Farm in a safe house because they have been named on a hit list. And technically we are one step away from that hit list, so clearly we need to be very careful. So we have been being careful, so please, thank you for your concern, but we always live with what we call an acceptable level of risk with everything we do going into the different communities we work in. That's all about awareness and listening to people around us about what is wise and what is safe. But when it comes to this kind of threat, there's nothing to be gained by pretending you're brave and working against it. You will just be killed. So we've stayed out of Sweet Home Farm, and that has kind of we are now having to set up another manufacturing base, which is in process, if you like. It means that Lorna's work, which she was invited in to do health promotion in Sweet Home Farm, can't really get properly commenced. It started, but not a strong start. But if you can you just put up on, thanks. So Sia and the Bonke, I don't know how clear that is, but this is Sia and the Bonke and your family, and the handsome guy at the back. And they want me to pass on to you their greetings and their gratitude for the prayers that have gone up from here for them. So this is Sia and the Bonke, the tall boy at the back is Boyo. This is Awaba, Masazali in the middle, and Sipilili is actually Sia's niece who's staying with them just now, while I'm goes to college. It's an interesting thing with Xhosa names actually. In Xhosa, there is no names. When a child is born, they're given a phrase, and the phrase, it can be something quite random that's happening around about her, round about the family at the time. Chilani, one of our boys that works with us, his name means be quiet. So Chilani means be quiet. You'll hear Chilani used in sentences. So you might recognise Sipalili's name. You just said it all a minute ago. So Sipalili's name means we are fine. And our family names her, we are fine. So it's quite an interesting point. So so I think just to sum up, we've had to change a lot of strategies and we've had to change direction, we've had to step back, take the heart of that and try and work our way forward. But interestingly, there are new contacts and new collaborations opening up because of that. So we now have set up a new sewing to be able to sew our sandbags in a collaboration with someone in our church who runs another NGO. We go to another church in Cape Town, you must understand. And we have that standby process now going on. So we're having to change things, but it might be actually that God's got the big picture, and this is actually a very positive thing in many ways. The next picture, so I just wanted you to see the family everyone. So they pass on their greetings to you.
So when I emailed John and suggested that we were coming home, perhaps we could share a bit, and then we felt that maybe there's something we would like to share with you. It seemed like a really good idea, but I was sitting at my dining room table in Cape Town. And now I'm not so sure. However, I mean, we do feel that this is something we'd like to share with you. In our church in Cape Town, we've been doing a series, the Love series. So the last series, 2 series ago, was about heroes of the Bible, and they were going through all the different heroes and heroines, and actually it was all the stories that we know, all the Bible stories, all the children's stories, and it was just like new again. So we wanted to share this with you, and it's David and Goliath. And I know that you'll all know this story, and it's very often thought of as a children's story. And even if you don't have any church background or you never go to church, you will know the story about David and Goliath. And like all good children's stories, it's really for adults. Yeah. So we're just going to share a bit about this. Please bear with me because I've got my post-flight cold. All the gems in Long Hall, I've got them. So, if you don't mind, I'm just going to run through the story. I'm not going to read it to you, we're just going to have the slides coming up, and I'm just going to expand a bit on the story. So, David, if you don't mind, the first verses 1 to 3 is 1 Samuel chapter 17. For those of you that have forgotten where David and Goliath is, because it's been so long since you've read it. So basically, the Philistines were gathering their forces for war, and they were in either side of the valley. There was a valley of Ephah in the middle, and they're both on both sides ready to fight. So whichever army is going to go down into the valley, the other army is going to get them, yeah, because they're safe on either side on the mountainside or between the valleys. And then moving on to verse 4, then they've got Goliath. So they've got this chap called Goliath. He's a Philistine, and he is giant basically. And I read a bit about this, and some commentators suggest that he had a pituitary gland problem, and that's why he was so big. And it may account for his how big he was. And he was wearing heavy armour ready for battle, and he was getting really impatient because he'd been shouting for over 6 weeks, come, bring it on, and nobody was willing to go. Nobody was willing to go down into the valley to fight him. Understandably, it has to be said. He's so big, but he was getting really impatient. But interestingly, the rest of the Philistines obviously were quite happy for him to go forward. They were all just standing on the hillside. And then verse 11, they're basically, all the rest of the Israelites, they're really fearful and despondent because this, as I said, this has been going on for so long. And then it says in chapter 14, verse 14, that David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And we suspect that David was under 20 because apparently young men were sent to war after the age of 20. So he was a teenager basically. And we know from the previous chapter that he played music for Saul. He wrote psalms, as we know. So he would probably be described as sort of arty, sensitive musician. He wasn't the strong warrior type. And now Jess, who's David's dad, then says to David, take some, next verse 17, take some grain and some loaves to your brothers and hurry to the camp, see what's happening there, and take some cheeses for the commander of the unit. So basically, give some to your brothers, see how they're doing. We want to know that they're okay, but also just, keep the right people happy, give the right people a gift as well. So David does this. He gets up early the next morning and leaves the sheep and runs into the battle lines. And the Philistines and the Israelites are still drawing their lines up facing each other. And David left these things and when he left the provisions that he had brought, and then he ran to the battle line and he asked his brothers, what's going on here? What are you all doing? You've been here for 6 weeks basically, and you're all still standing looking at each other, and this chap comes out every day and shouts at you all, and you all just stand there, And this is paraphrasing, okay? But that's basically, this is verse 20, that's basically what he's saying. But every time the Israelites saw Goliath, they all fled in great fear. So, can you imagine how despondent and fearful the Israelites must have been feeling, particularly that the taunting from Goliath had been going on for so long, and not one of them had stepped up to fight? And really it should have been Saul. Saul should have been, he was the leader, he should have gone up to fight, but he was obviously too fearful. So, verse 26, David then asks the people around him, what's going to happen to the chap who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? So David asks around. He doesn't doubt that the Israelites will kill Goliath. That question he asks, what will happen to the person that kills him? He doesn't doubt that one of the Israelites will kill Goliath. But David's faith had caused him to look at the giant from a different perspective. Goliath was merely a mortal man defying an all-powerful God. But David looked at the battle from God's point of view. Goliath was an uncircumcised Philistine, not in a covenant relationship with God. And David was not happy that he was threatening God's people. So then moving on, David's brothers in verse 20 and 29, they're getting a bit annoyed with him. He says, why have you come down here? The oldest brother says, why have you come down here? Who do you think you are? You should be looking after these sheep. I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle. You just come down for a good, gory scene. And then David's like, what have I done? You can just imagine the sibling rivalry. I don't know what your children were like when they grew up, but we had a lot of sibling rivalry. One was always trying to do better than the other, and they got a bit impatient with each other at times. So David's brother gets really angry with him. Young upstart, you think he is coming down here and asking questions. He just wants a bit of the action. He should be looking after the sheep. Can you see the humiliation of the older brothers? David's just arrived and he's already, you can see quite clearly what's going on. So then David says to Saul, I'll fight him, I'll go. Your servant will go and fight him. And Saul says, you're not able to go against this Philistine and fight him. You're only a young man. And he's been a warrior from his youth. Now, note this is verse 33. Saul only says no once. He doesn't say, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't. He just says, no. And then David says, no, but it's okay. Saul, it's okay. Your servant has been keeping the father's sheep, and when a lion and bear have come and carried off the sheep, I've been able to kill them. I've struck them down, and I've protected the sheep. Basically, I'm already prepared for this. And then Saul says in verse 37, okay, go, and the Lord be with you. Which actually seems quite remarkable when you think of how long these guys have been standing opposite each other on the hillside, and then David comes and he's like, okay. So basically, I just want to share a few things with you about that so far. And you know, David feels that he's been prepared to fight Goliath, as he's been protecting the sheep by fighting the lions and bears. And he's been seeing things from God's perspective. And, you know, as I said earlier, he was young, he's enthusiastic, but he was confident in his relationship with God. He practiced trusting God to help him protect the sheep, and he was preparing to trust God in facing Goliath. And this is just a wee aside. Do we sometimes not listen to young people because we think they do not have enough experience? But like Saul, when we are battle weary, we will let them have a go instead of including them from the beginning. So David was ready. Although his older brothers only saw him playing the lyre, being arty, being sensitive, attending the sheep, God had been preparing him in secret. God had been preparing him when nobody had seen him on the hillside. And he had been fighting the lions and bears and protecting the sheep. And I'm just going to ask, has God been preparing you for ministry, but it's not necessarily been seen by others? And when we step out in faith, expect to be criticised. We were. David was trusting God to help protect the sheep and now bring down Goliath. But the people around will say, are you sure? Is that what God's really asking? It makes people uneasy. Some will offer their own advice, as Saul offered his armour to David and questioned his actions. David's older brothers were mocking him. Who's looking after the sheep, they said. That's not such an important job as us being at war. But David has seen them being humiliated by Goliath, and they were getting really defensive. So please don't think that I've got it all together here, because that's so not true. But looking back, you can see that God had been preparing us for many years for change. In 2014, when we were first told that it was going to be a shift and a new season in our lives, and God was going to use our spiritual and natural abilities in a new way, we thought, really? What skills do we have? What have we got? And as many of you know, we both have professional jobs. Don is an architect and ran his own practice, and that was very challenging over many years. And I am a specialist nurse. And over all these years here and in other churches, we've always been involved in church activities. Don's been a deacon for over 15 years. We ran youth groups, Youth Alpha, Adult Alpha, Marriage Course, this is all the ones I could remember. High school, prayer ministry. I've basically been actively involved in church life. And all of these are fundamentally relationship based. We also led a team of street pastors for over 5 years in Glasgow. So we learned to really love people in a non-judgmental way. When our children were young, we lived in England for a few years, and we had no family support around us, and I was going a bit sort of crazy at that time. They were all young, and I wasn't working. Dawn was working long hours. I was away a lot, so I actually enrolled on a sociology course just to keep my brain active. And I really enjoyed learning with other adults, and I wrote my dissertation on health inequalities. Never thinking anything more about it. Returning to Glasgow and working as a nurse, I went back to university part-time and I completed my health studies degree. And I thought at that time that was just to help my career progress, which it did. And I was the lead blood and bags nurse for Greater Glasgow Pride before I was called to South Africa. So, where am I going with this? Well, when I worked in the health service, I dealt with many people who are on the edge of society here. They made bad life and health choices. But as I have studied, it is often when you start your life that shapes the future. And many people become despondent and hopeless. It is very similar in the places that I work in Cape Town. They may be 6,000 miles apart, but many people have the same sense of hopelessness. When poverty and injustice is added to the equation, the health inequalities are even more extreme, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, New Day United, which is the NGO that I work for, aims to empower people to make good life choices through their health and education programmes in the poorest communities. And we run a computer learning centre, which is for adults, 6-month course that gets a proper qualification. We have Work for a Living, which is a new course that we've just started, which is basically challenging people's work ethics. It's been great fun because we've been doing mock interviews and helping people with CVs, and some of the questions people have been asking interviewed, like, how long is my lunch hour? You don't start at that. So that's been really good. I've really enjoyed that. And all these people I've interviewed over all these years for jobs, I'm now playing at it. I've been doing it for years, and now I'm still doing it. We do e-learning. Most of these children that come to our after-school programme don't have access to computers at school, which is outrageous. So they're able to do that after school. We have e-learning and we have robotics, so they're able to learn maths and science in a fun way. We have a sewing enterprise, so that's really beginning to take off. And then I do the health and education stuff. So I help with the after school. I do classes with some of the children, which is good fun. I'll tell you a story about that later. So, and health is not just about physical health, but it's also about emotional and spiritual health. And at UD, I'm able to address the whole person. Spending time listening, praying, and sharing God's love for people, which is an enormous privilege, and not something we would ever be able to do in our workplaces here, which is terribly sad. I mean, we'll never be able to mention the word God in the NHS or ask somebody if we could pray for them. So it's a real opportunity. So we're over 2 years in now. We're going to be applying for a new visa shortly after we go back. And every day is a school day. I'm constantly questioning my colleagues, as there's so many differences in culture and languages and experiences. And in the New Day team, we have there's about 10 of us now, and we have Black Africans whose first language is Xhosa. We have Black and coloured people whose first language is Afrikaans. We have white people whose first language is Afrikaans. And then there's me, whose first language is English. So you can imagine, even in a team meeting, how you have to be absolutely sure everybody understands what everybody else is saying, because it can be very confusing. And we always speak in English, which fortunately for me. But I'm trying to discern how God wants me to establish a clinic in Kainisa. And that is very exciting because that's just beginning to happen. 2 ladies, I've been praying, and 2 ladies have come forward. I've basically said to God, I can't do it alone. I don't even need one, I need 2 people. And 2 people just about 2 weeks ago came forward from the community to basically say that they were really interested in helping to start something. So when I go back, that'll be really good to get on with that. But like David, I can look back and see that perhaps God knew what he was doing all along. And it has been preparing us both for a number of years. We just didn't realise what the lions and bears were at the time. So, just in closing before John comes up, what are your lions and bears? And are you aware that God is most likely preparing you for something?
You were thinking that was like all over there? This is a real starting. I am going to read through these verses if that's okay. So David, you can put the next one up, please. So immediately after the verse that Lorna finished with, so then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armour on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around, because he wasn't used to it. 40. I cannot go on these, he said to Saul, because I'm not used to them. So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. Verse 45. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." Note that his weapon is not the sling. It comes in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by the sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly towards the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So just to make a connection back to what Lorna finished with, Saul had said, "Go, and the Lord be with you." What is Saul actually thinking as these words spill from his mouth? Is he actually just relieved to be personally off the hook? After all, along with his whole army, he has spent the last 40 days terrified. And when Saul says this to David, it's the first time in this whole story that suggests he has the Lord on his mind at all. This is a man in fear of the burden of responsibility that strongly suggests that he should be the one that goes to face Goliath. After all, in Samuel 1 Samuel 9:2, it says he was a head taller than anyone else. Saul was the tallest person in the Israelite army. But the backstory to this is that God has previously removed Saul's anointing. Saul was the anointed king. The people had pleaded for a king. They wanted to be like all the nations around about them. They wanted to have a king. And God relented and chose an anointed Saul. Saul went on to look as if he was diligently seeking God. They were victorious in battle. He was seeking God for what the next step should be. But then in chapter 15, when he's asked to fight the Amalekites, he fails. God asks him to basically take out all of the Amalekites, everyone. But what Saul did was he saved all the best parts. He saved all the good cattle, all the good sheep. He actually disobeyed the Lord. And he then goes on to build a monument for himself. So this doesn't sound like a man who's now got God on his mind at all. The truth is that Saul was no longer fighting this battle from the covenant promises of God. He's now on his own, without any anointing, fighting from his own experience, fighting for his own honour, and fighting his own corner. But in not taking up this battle, or the challenge of Goliath, he has failed, and he knows it. So Saul all of a sudden invokes the Lord's name, go in the name of the Lord. He dresses David in his own royal armour. Is he trying to save face? Perhaps the Israelites will not realise that it's Saul that walks into battle. It is not Saul, that walks into battle. He seems content and relieved to send David into battle, but the young part-time musician and experienced shepherd in front of him has secretly already received God's anointing as God's choice for king. David is God's man. David sees things differently. So all through the story so far, it's clearly been a fight between the Philistines and Saul's army. Even Goliath taunts, "Are you not servants of Saul?" Or as the message puts it, "You're all committed to Saul, aren't you?" So even the Philistines can see that God isn't in charge here. It's all about Saul. However, David sees the challenge of Goliath as an affront to God himself, and not least because it has been going on every day for almost 6 weeks. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being taunted for 6 weeks and doing nothing? His attitude sets him apart from Saul and the whole Israelite army. He is a man set apart. So he throws off the armour gifted from a field king. David can't fight the armour because it doesn't fit. It makes you think. There are lots of ministries and people that we can admire and try to match in service or emulate, but we can't actually be someone else. David was under persuasion to use the armour. It must have been a tempting thought. But maybe the lesson here is we shouldn't seek to serve the Lord under the heavy expectations of others. The armour was the best made and was a symbol of great significance. But David even passes the humility test and isn't tempted by appearing powerful and impressive. The fact is that wearing someone's armour will affect your walk with the Lord. So finally, he knew his skill set, and this comes back to what Lorna was talking about. So David moves on to choose 5 stones. And I think Dorothy, was it you last night we were talking about holding the stones from the same brook? Yeah, so my sister has actually been in Israel at the place where David chose the stones and was able to kind of lift stones out of the same brook. I think that's just amazing. But he chose 5 stones, and the 5 stones used to confuse me. And when I read, when I was doing research for this, it confuses a lot of people. Because it seems to represent that David, although he outwardly had this faith in God and this was God's battle, like he can maybe doubted a little bit because he chose 5 stones. However, we feel now it's more likely that it speaks of David's preparedness for the task. Fighting lions and bears would likely take more than 1 stone. It's wrong, I now think, to consider that the 5 stones speak of anything other than wisdom and experience. After all, to criticise the 5 stones is doubting. We'd be like criticising the choice of a sling so that you could win the battle from a distance, or using the staff as a decoy. You might notice in the story when he walks into the battle against Goliath with the staff, Goliath first shouts, "You come at me with sticks." It's almost like David using the staff as a decoy. David was simply a warrior prepared for his task. But while he used his experience to persuade Saul to let him fight, he goes into battle not on his own strategy, really, but entirely reliant on God, which makes all the difference, knowing that it's God's fight. I mean, to step out of the line of an army into the open space between 2 armies, with a 10-foot tall warrior bearing down on you, it must take enormous courage, as probably no one here would know. No matter the experience or the preparedness. But this is where the faith David carries is invested. In obedience, in defence of God's honour, he knew that what Goliath was shouting was an offence against God. Goliath was taunting his people's army. So in obedience, in defence of God's honour, pure and simple, and this ultimately is what God blesses. David is so in tune with God's purpose that he knows what God requires of him. And God in turn requires only 1 stone. So remember what Lorna was saying earlier, David didn't win the fight with Goliath, God did, through the Holy Spirit's anointing. But even still, God didn't send David into battle unprepared, despite all appearances. David wouldn't be weighed down by other people's criticism, advice, or expectations. David intends this as a witness to the whole world of God's power. He says in verse 46, "And the whole world will know there is a God in Israel." He simply knew that if God was with him and wouldn't let him down, God was with him and wouldn't let him down. This offence to God just couldn't go on. The fact that God had prepared him was a given. He simply knew that. He couldn't beat Goliath at close quarters, hence he didn't need any army. He knew he could win from a distance. He had done it before. Hence the choice was a sling. But ultimately, all his trust was in God. That's what allowed him to step into the space. When we were called to a different life and ended up in South Africa, I found it particularly difficult the fact that all the things that I believed had given life purpose, or was it just comfort, had been stripped away. While I was really expectant for what God was going to do, I also felt exposed to a struggle for meaning and significance. As I desperately tried to work out, why me? What is it I've got to bring? What difference could I make? As we looked at, as we looked at for the first time and understood the challenges in Cape Town, it was overwhelming. This was our Goliath. So I would dig through the suitcase I had brought with all my own capabilities, all my own achievements, all my own high points, all my skills, my importance to other people. And I will remember long discussions with our prayer partners here in Bearsden. I was trying to explain to them that I was finding it so hard to understand why answering this call I suddenly felt so lost. Because all the way through the call from 2014, as Lorna said, there were clear steps for us to take, and all of a sudden we were on the battle line, in our battle line, and we had to step out into that valley. But then I knew, it came to me, that it wasn't at all important that it was me or us. What was important was that we were obedient when the call came. And we then came to share God's passion for the poor and oppressed through the broken hearts of a risky new experience. Oswald Chambers has said, many of us are so interested in our own goals that Jesus cannot help himself to our lives. And that phrase really struck me. It's speaking about how surrendered we are to God's purpose for our lives and how willing we are to put aside our own goals and our own comforts. Like David, through alertness for God's voice and in obedience, we have to be prepared to step out all the armour and protection that doesn't fit and God just doesn't want or need, and let Jesus help himself to our lives. There is a world of difference between standing on our own past achievements, our natural abilities and self-made high points, and discovering that against all expectations, God has prepared us in ways that we never knew, for tasks that we never saw coming. The difference between it being our fight or God's fight. So here's a question. Hands up all those who are in full-time ministry. At this point, trick question, I should see a sea of hands. And that says something a little bit, doesn't it? Because we are all in full-time ministry. None of us are off the hook. Do we realise that we're in a battle? And in this battle, we can't send another David. Are there Goliaths in your life or around you that need taking on? The familiar story of David speaks of the importance of knowing for whom we step out. It comes right back to relationship, it comes right back to our closeness to our Father and our open hearts to what it is He wants of us. But we also need to know and understand that when that happens, God will not send us out unresourced or unprepared. So, have you been persuaded to wear armour that doesn't fit? Are you trying to live up to someone else's expectations? Are you prepared to believe that God has already